Hello and welcome to Query Cooking, where I cook my way through my manuscript one recipe at a time as I search for agents and publishers to publish my first novel, The Glorifieds. Agents and publishers, please come find me. I'm ready. Jane was so shaken up from the incident during the sermon that she hardly touched her plate that Sitaway had filled up with cold fried chicken, pickles, a cheese and walnut sandwich, and a huge slab of blackberry pie. They had congregated on an assemblage of picnic quilts under the sheltering arms of an enormous ancient oak. Her students took breaks from playing to come and see her, occasionally bringing her little gifts like smooth shining stones or freshly plucked wildflowers. How grand, Sitaway beamed at her. How they adore you so. I adore them too. So you're going to begin with a raw, bone-in, cut-up chicken. Then you're going to take the special seasoning recipe on the blog and cover the chicken in that seasoning on the front and the back sides. You want to make sure that your chicken is very well seasoned before putting into the marinade. Your marinade consists of a few shakes of Louisiana hot sauce, cultured buttermilk, and of course my very special ingredient, sweet tea. So dump that in there. Don't be afraid to play around with measurements depending on what your personal tastes are. All that matters is that we are adding things like acid and sweetness to permeate the flesh of the chicken to really up the flavor factor before we bread and deep fry it. After giving it a very good stir, you're going to want to cover that with aluminum foil or saran wrap and pop that in your fridge for 3 hours or optimally overnight before frying. So let's set that in there and we'll come back in a few hours. In my opinion, the best fried chicken is set apart by its crisp, crunchy exterior, and the way that we achieve that is by using a 3-fold system when we're breading. You're going to dredge it in a flour mixture, then in a milk and egg wash, and then back into the flour mixture to ensure that you get that delicious, iconic crust that good American fried chicken is known for. So where exactly does fried chicken fit on the U.S. history timeline, and where does it come from? Sources are as varied as the recipes themselves, but the broad consensus seems to be that the method was brought to the colonies by the Scottish before being perfected by enslaved African American cooks in the South. Like most of my favorite foods, this dish has, of course, evolved over time, gaining something new from each pair of hands that ever dared dredge fowl with flour and brave a bubbling pot of oil. Once you have that chicken nice and coated, set it to the side to let it cure. I like to use a baking rack and prepare your oil for frying. For this recipe, I'm going to be frying in peanut oil, but feel free to experiment with whatever oil works best for your family. I understand that peanut allergies are very prevalent in a lot of places, so feel free to use something with a high smoke point like canola. Put a little bit of your batter in the oil to just kind of test how hot it is. You don't want to put your chicken in until it sizzles and bubbles up to the top, or you're going to have saturated chicken. Your oil should be nice and bubbly. When you add your chicken, very, very carefully, can't stress that enough, to the pot. You're going to flip this chicken halfway through so that it browns evenly on both sides. I like my chicken to be nice and evenly browned before I move it into the oven, which is our next step. Be sure to blot your chicken on paper towels to remove any excess grease. We're trying to eat delicious food here, but we don't always need that excess oil that fried chicken is known for. I like the finished product when it's not as greasy. Bake on a baking rack with a cookie sheet underneath at 375 for about 20 to 30 minutes until perfectly done through the middle and crisp and golden on the outside. Look at that beautiful chicken. Oh my goodness. Now, in the book, they ate this at the church picnic with snacks like tea sandwiches and blackberry pie, but I'm serving mine with lima beans and macaroni and cheese because my toddler loves it. Please enjoy this recipe, and if you're an agent or a publisher, contact me. We need to talk. Everyone else, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more of these wonderful query cooking recipes.